Content creation has completely changed. I remember back in my day where I was spending, or you can look at something like a Canon 5D Mark II. Every photographer had that camera. Full frame, you're looking at $4,000 to $5,000 to just get professional looking photos and videos. But now we're looking at 2023 going forward with the advancement of AI, robots, short form content, all types of AI that makes editing so much easier, text-based editing, and the list goes on and on for the future. But one of the greatest things about technology is the more available and readiness there is in the marketplace, everything is a lot cheaper than it used to be. Instead of investing in, let's say, $4,000 in a camera, you are more than capable of spending, let's say, $1,000 in a camera and just getting your foot wet into content creation. And this is exactly what I would buy if you were looking to get started in content. We're talking about content game, you know? We ain't talking about film, documentaries, well, you definitely can. I'm talking about content. Because I remember when I first started making YouTube videos, talking to a camera was very peculiar. And back then, everyone was using, let's say, T3i, T5i, T7i, Nikon D5600, 5500, and Sony was just around the corner. But now, if I had $1,000, there's pretty much two cameras that I would spend it on. That would be number one, first, is the Sony ZV-E10. This is the equivalent of the ZV-1, and you have, the only difference is having interchangeable lenses. And at the making of this video, there's also the release of the Sony ZV-E1. Essentially a full-frame AS7 III. But I digress. Besides that camera itself, you can also pick something up, like what I'm using right now, which is the Nikon Z30, Z50, ZFC. It's all the same. Those are the two cameras that I would recommend, especially if you're a content creator. All you really need is a flippy out screen, a camera that shoots 4K with decent autofocus, and we would move next into what you need is a tripod. And if you're a super beginner and you don't want to get too professional, all you really need is a little vlogging stick. You have, what I'm using right now is the Manfrotto Evo or the Pixie Mini. That can cost you around from under $60. And last but not least, pick yourself up a microphone. Microphones, you don't only need a super condenser cardioid microphone that is like a SMB or some type of really expensive microphone that requires other output and all that headache. If you're a content creator, $1,000, that's your budget, simply pick up the Rode Video Micro. And that will automatically boost your audio that you have within your camera, like that. Or you pick up what I'm using right now is the D4 Duo, which has two channels where I can talk behind the camera, have a switch, and then talk in front of the camera. And if you want to get even better of a sound quality, all you need to do is pick up a boom mic, a microphone stand, get yourself a specific thread, that on your mic, bam, now are you talking a little higher quality for something that's all under $1,000. Of course, there's things that you can heavily invest in, like a decent light kit. We're talking about ring lights. But if you just had $1,000, that's what I would spend my money on. A vlogging camera that shoots 4K, different color picture profiles, ensuring that there is a flat picture profile. Budget microphone, because you always want to upgrade the audio, because no one likes in-camera microphone. It's not that great. Here's a little example. I'm going to unplug it. And let's see how that sounds without the mic. And I'm going to plug it back in now. And this is how it sounds with the D4 Pro. And all I'm doing right now is putting this Manfrotto Pixie on top of my Nikon Z30. And of course, if you only have $1,000, just use the kit lens. Not the end of the world, but if you do have a little bit more budget, I'm using the Viltrox 13mm 1.4, as you can see by that blurred background. But you're looking at a $2,000 setup. So this is my $1,000 setup. And content, man, Camera equipment for the content creator game, $1,000 can get you a long way. On top of that, don't forget that it's not just about the gear. It's about your storytelling capabilities, your camera presence, your charisma, what makes you different from any other content creators, and of course, your marketing strategy. That was my little rant on camera gear. $1,000? You're like, that's all I have? I want to get into content creation. You can sure get a lot more than you would think. Everything I mentioned is in the description below. Help me help you. And if you want to get the best camera guide when it comes to learning the best settings, how do I film, how do I take photos, the best quality that I use for all of my setups, links to the description below. Get that, help me help you, and you're watching a Broke Visionary Collective where we all start with nothing. But you can always create something. Cheers, guys.